Initially, when my mom was first diagnosed, obviously I was devastated. I'd say I spent maybe like a year and a half just like crying all the time.
When my mom received her Alzheimer's diagnosis, she was angry. And her first words out of her mouth to the neurologist were, "You can't diagnose me with Alzheimer's. You can only diagnose me with that with an autopsy."
We used to think that we could only rule out other diseases, and if we didn't find any and were left with Alzheimer's disease, that the person in question probably had Alzheimer's, and only autopsy could confirm that. But that is no longer the case. If we have someone with the appropriate clinical presentation and symptoms, the objective cognitive impairment, and they have amyloid and or tau pathobiology by the biomarkers available to us, then we have what we call either prodromal Alzheimer's disease if it's in the MCI stage, or biomarker confirmed Alzheimer's disease in the dementia stage. An MRI scan will rule out structural abnormalities in the brain and is really part of the Alzheimer's workup because it rules out strokes, tumors, abscesses, and other types of structural abnormalities that can mimic Alzheimer's disease or exacerbate it.
So the question is, what's the role of biomarkers in diagnosing Alzheimer's? Biomarker means a biologic marker of disease mechanism, and they've been getting a lot better in recent years. There are two currently in use and one that is very promising on its way.
The biomarkers that are currently available are PET amyloid imaging, tau imaging, and spinal fluid amyloid and tau measurements.
What's been very promising is work on blood-based biomarkers, and at the Alzheimer's meeting this year, there were some wonderful data on plasma phosphorylated tau. We're not ready yet, but it's very possible in a few years that we'll have a blood test for Alzheimer's.
So we look forward in the near future to having blood-based biomarkers, which will really allow our colleagues in family medicine to participate up front in the screening for individuals under investigation for Alzheimer's.
I'm a full-time caregiver now. It's definitely the hardest job I've ever had.
It's the lack of sleep, it's the stress level, it's the lifestyle that you're leading when you're caring for someone.
It is a really hard job, and you cannot do it alone. You need the support of your community, your family, whoever your village is.
Everyone has to be working together. Everyone is the team.
I think it's very important that when the person is being diagnosed with Alzheimer's, that they find out who the support system is going to be for this person, and they offer support for the support system. I think that that's just as important as the diagnosis itself.